All right, hello and welcome to the Spotlight on CSAJ's Expert Advisors and Partners. Today, we are thrilled to put the spotlight on the Center for Court Innovation, featuring our partners, Jenna and Nida. CSAJ really strives to develop and promote transformative advocacy that removes systemic barriers, enhances organizational responses, and improves professional practices to meet the self-defined needs of domestic and sexual violence survivors. This work really centers on the intersection of poverty and domestic violence. So to do this work, multiple partnerships with unique and diverse expertise in multiple issue areas are really needed to enhance economic security for survivors. And CSAJ is really thrilled to have such a coalition at our back, informing and in guiding our work. So we welcome and are honored by Jenna and Nida representing CCI. And they're going to tell us a little bit about who they are, their work at CCI, and in partnership with us, and offer some reflections on our collective work to address the intersection of poverty and domestic violence. So thank you both for joining us and for all you do, and take it away.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks for having us. So like Sarah said, my name is Jenna Smith, and I work for the Center for Court Innovation.
And I'm Nida Abbasi, and I also work at the Center for Court Innovation with Jenna.
Yeah. And just to give a little background about CCI and what we do here. So the center works to create a more effective and humane justice system, and it does this in 3 ways. It has operating projects, which is on the ground in the field work. We also perform original research. And then finally, we provide expert assistance. So we work a lot with courts and jurisdictions across the country who are looking to improve their justice responses.
And we're both part of the Center's domestic violence program team, which is driven by several principles, including emphasizing offender accountability and victim safety, being practitioner-based, maintaining a focus on data and what role that could play, being community-focused, and also incorporating elements of procedural justice.
And then in terms of how I got into this work, so I came from more of a direct services background. I used to work for an organization called Our Children, which was based in a maximum security prison here in New York State called Bedford Hills Correctional Facility. And we worked with incarcerated mothers and provided parenting programs for them. And so part of what led me to the work here at the center was wanting to be able to perform more broad systems change work. And that has been really great to be able to do that here.
Yeah, and I am a big believer that uplifting women helps enhance and uplift their entire community. So that's definitely inspired me to do work that directly impacts women. And I think domestic violence and just in general violence against women is a field that interacts with so many other social justice issues like housing and immigration. And I think I saw a lot of evidence of that as I was a civil legal aid attorney with survivors of violence before coming to the center.
Yeah, and just thinking about that more, some of the work I did with incarcerated mothers, a lot of them had backgrounds that involved sexual abuse and domestic violence and other forms of trauma. And so coming with that perspective, it's been really meaningful to know sort of the impact that our work has. And partnering with CSAJ has been wonderful. We've been working with them on a guidebook. We co-wrote a chapter on some of the economic barriers that survivors of domestic violence face when they are in civil court. And so we outlined some strategies that advocates and attorneys can use to help survivors with that.
Yeah, and we learned a lot while we were writing the chapter. We did a lot of research and critical thinking on issues that people don't normally think about when they're thinking about what low income and survivors of violence face when they're coming to court. So things like litigation abuse and how delays in case processing can affect economic and employment stability are a few of the issues that we discovered more about.
And so what does economic justice mean to us? It means a lot. For me, I think it means the ability for everyone to live comfortably. So meaning being able to meet basic needs like shelter and food, but also being able to save and plan for the future. And of course, this is critically important when you're thinking about survivors of domestic violence.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't realize that a lot of survivors stay in abusive relationships because they're worried about whether they can provide for themselves and their children if they leave. So giving them greater access to resources helps facilitate more financial literacy and helps them get better jobs and stronger economic stability, which will keep them safer long term.
And in thinking about our work going forward, what gives me hope and motivates me is how many really smart and driven people there are working in this field. And I think social justice issues have come a long way in the past several years. And of course, there's still a lot more work to be done in terms of shifting minds and changing culture. But I think we are well equipped to do it.
Yeah, and I think, like Jenna said, we need to draw greater attention and get more support and more resources to these issues. But I do think there's more diversity in the voices that are contributing, and hopefully that will propel us forward in the years to come.
Thanks again for having us.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you both. You're so great, and we really enjoyed doing some of that critical thinking with you about access to justice and what equitable justice really looks like for survivors. It's, you know, one of the many reasons why we love partnering with you two and the center more broadly. So thank you for bringing your own perspectives and your organization to this work. And thank you today for letting us shine the spotlight on you. We're really thrilled to be able to share this. And for those of you watching this who are interested in finding out more, we encourage you to go check out all the amazing resources that the center has on your own website and the work that you've been doing. And as they mentioned, we'll soon be releasing a guidebook on consumer and economic civil legal advocacy. So please stay in touch with us and get in touch with Jen and Nita about all of that. So once again, you two, thank you so much, and take good care.
Thank you.
Thanks.